the heart of what I do really comes from a need that I had in myself when I was growing up. That is really my deep why is because I've seen it firsthand. I've experienced what it feels like to not feel enough or to need a positive place to be around people your own age. It all just comes back to helping kids and people feel like they belong simply for being who they are and feeling loved. And that's really the root of everything. I am clear, not on every step, but I'm clear on my purpose and I'm clear on my calling and I know what I'm here to do. And that's been a true blessing in my life. Who I am and what I do is 1,000% aligned. I just love being someone who shows up with care, and I really care about all the families that we serve. It's where I started, was helping girls feel like they can be encouraged, they can feel good about who they are, they can come as they are and also belong and have community. And so I just feel like I'm living my values, and I'm not a perfect person at all. Of course, I make mistakes. At the core of everything, I feel like I'm the most proud that I really am who I say I am, and I live the way that I'm teaching the girls. Even though there's a lot that's hard, I still feel like, I go to sleep at night and I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I am being myself, which is what I teach the girls. The girls that have been with me know that I always say, if you make a mistake, make something out of it. Of course, you don't want to make the mistake, but you learn from it, and it's hard in the moment to hear that. Sometimes we share stories about times that we've, made mistakes, and make it very common and make it very human that that happens, and then that gives them permission that when something does go wrong, that they can handle it and know that even though it doesn't feel good, it's okay, and it's part of just learning and growing. I would say, as far as leadership goes, I'm a servant leader. I believe in servant leadership. I think that um, also being transparent about how you don't always know the way. You can be clear and still be in the middle of making decisions and trying to figure out how something is going to go, and that's okay, and that's part of it. I mean, you don't always have to have the perfect clarity. And I think the biggest thing I've learned too as a leader is that I can bring to the summit is um, like Sally said earlier, like taking consistent action, even if you're not sure if it's the exact perfect step. What stalls you is being paralyzed and not taking any action. And I've also been there. So I think even when you're building something, especially from your imagination, it's like you almost have to surrender to, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I just know it is. It's like you just have to keep taking the step
Yeah.
and the next step and the next step. It's like I have faith, but it doesn't mean I don't have doubt, or I don't have a day where I'm like, okay, what? What just happened? Like, I didn't expect this to happen. And I think it's the freedom that everything that you've gone through has prepared you for what you're doing in the moment, even if you don't know fully what it is, or
Yeah.
even if you're still figuring it out. Also, saying yes and trying something that you aren't quite ready for is good, and you can always pump the brakes if you need to. It's like it doesn't have to be a forever.
Yeah.
And I think that too is trusting your intuition, and Jesus and God being with you, and just leaning into that and being like, the next best small step. And if you don't, it's okay to pause and wait a little bit, but not so long that you're going to be stuck. And so I think freedom is just trusting that you can have a responsibility and you can also have non-clarity that you're still trying to figure out, and you can still know what you're called to do and it be messy.
Hmm.
So I think it's the freedom and permission to know that, I mean, I'm still in the mess. Like I am, there are certain parts that are not messy, and then there are certain things it's like once you figure one thing out, kind of like what Sally said earlier, it's like, when is this going to be easy? Like, what is this? And there are certain things that are easier. I mean, you are, and and I think it's also a freedom to look back and see your progress, because even
Yeah.
a year ago, just thinking about just how far I've come just in a year in certain areas is like, holy cow, like I forgot about that. I forgot that I didn't even have this last year. And now I'm all the way over here because I kept going. And I've
Yeah.
also cried and I've also felt like giving up. And I think people are afraid to say that too. It's like, okay, God, is this the right thing? Like, is this really my calling? Am I supposed to give up right now? Because it feels so hard. I mean, just the last 6 months or 6 weeks alone have felt like trudging through mud. And it's like, okay, nope, I keep going. I just keep thinking about like the desert period and like, in history and everything. And it's like, okay, this is, I'm getting through the desert or I'm getting through the storm or whatever it is. I think the biggest thing is that, faith doesn't mean you have all the answers. It's continuing to show up. I pray all the time. Like I have a dedicated time in the morning, but it doesn't have to look like everyone else's. And I think I always thought that it did. It had to look strict or it had to look a certain way or I had to sound a certain way. And I think the biggest thing I learned is that God and Jesus, like they already know me. So I don't have to do it like everybody else or say the right thing. Like I can be myself and I can also say that I'm struggling or I just need peace. Sometimes it's quiet. Like sometimes I'm like, are you there? Like, are you still there? And I know that he is, but it's continuing to just be like, it doesn't have to be loud all the time for me to have faith.